So what up, all my game boys and my game girls? Welcome back to the channel. I'm glad you guys are here today. Um, so we're doing something just a little bit different. I'm not going to be on here long. I'm not going to hold you guys long. I just wanted to go through some game news with y'all. So actually, welcome to the news part of GameGyrl Color News, or GameGyrl Color Cast. No, GameGyrl Cast, I think I'm going to name it. I think that's going to be the name of my news segment, is GameGyrl Cast. We got a couple of things to talk about, because if you guys have not seen it, or if you have not paid attention to it, if it's not on your timeline, you may not know anything about it. But the biggest news so far in the gaming world is the acquisition that Microsoft has done, or was in the works of doing, with Activision Blizzard King. So let's bring this up. So for those of you who may not have been following the story, the FTC in the US, I don't know what was going on with the UK, but I know what was going on with the US, because me and my husband talked about this last night. So the FTC in the US was trying to keep Microsoft from acquisitioning, from acquiring the Activision Blizzard King development studio. I just saw, it was last night. Yeah, I saw this last night. I saw last night that they lost, and it says again, and that Microsoft is now in the clear to close the Activision Xbox deal in the US. So from what I have read, the FTC was trying to stop the Microsoft acquisition with Activision Blizzard, and they've been denied before. I also didn't know that there was, and this took me aback, I'm sorry, but I didn't know there was a restraining order on it. I didn't know gaming companies could do that, or not gaming companies, but I didn't know that the FTC could do that to a publishing company like that. I didn't know that until I read through this news article here. And by the way, this news article is through actually, it's by Samuel Tolbert, so he wrote the article. Okay. But as of 12 midnight, Microsoft can legally acquire Activision Blizzard in the US. So the FTC tried to stop. Of course, they failed. I actually have to do a little bit more digging and find out the full case behind it. Try to find out. And like I said, I talked about this last night with my husband, and he was telling me, number one, what the FTC does. Because I knew a little bit. Oh, I did not know that was all over my face, y'all. Oh, y'all can't see it. Hold on. Thought y'all could see that. Why y'all tell me y'all couldn't see it? Okay, boom, there we go. Okay, and it's gonna be over me a little bit, so I apologize for that. But it's big, so I wanted you guys to see. That's the reason why I got it up there like that. So what was I talking about? Oh, he was telling me what the FTC did, which I knew a little bit of what the FTC did, but I didn't know the full extent of what the FTC does, and why they do what they do. I'm checking out my frames. It keeps telling me that it's dropping, but anyway, so they are out there to make sure that things aren't unfair to the other gaming companies, right? And the biggest thing was that if Microsoft acquired the Activision Blizzard King development studio, that those games would be primarily for Xbox and Xbox only. So, like I said, the FTC was denied it. No, they got denied. Excuse me, access denied to them, and Microsoft can now legally obtain this. Now, according to this. How long has this been going? I read this last night. It said it was going on for months now that they have been trying to do this acquisition, and the FTC has been, here it is. The deal has taken 18 months to come together. Okay, so for 18 months, Microsoft is trying to acquire Activision Blizzard King with pushback from the FTC and number of roadblocks on the agreements to make it happen. Microsoft received clearance from the European Commission and numerous other countries like Japan and Brazil, but the FTC in US and the CMA in the UK. And I don't even know what the story is with the CMA. I don't know why, or not why, but what's going on with that. Definitely going to do a little bit more digging and figure out what's going on with that as well. Excuse me, guys. Get my glasses clean so I can see y'all. Actually, let me do this too. No, that's fine. That's fine. I ain't gonna touch that. Okay. So, after a 5-day court hearing, it looks like, and this was in June, numerous secrets were spilled with the Microsoft versus the FTC, and the U.S. federal judge denied the regulator a preliminary injunction to stop the deal, saying that the massive purchase may be perhaps bad for Sony but good for Call of Duty gamers and future gamers. Now, coming off of this, and speaking of Call of Duty, let me pull this up here. I actually have... Stop. Go back. This is what I wanted to do. I keep pressing the wrong thing. Open file. If you guys see if something happens in the corner, I apologize, but it looks like it's okay. So I actually have a tweet here that I'm trying to show. Come on. Okay. Oh, did it pop up twice? It did. Alright. So, according to this tweet here, we see from Phil Spencer at Xbox, we are pleased to announce that Microsoft and PlayStation have signed a binding agreement to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation following the acquisition of Activision Blizzard. We look forward to a future where players globally have more choice to play their favorite games. So we look forward to a future where players globally have more choice to play their favorite games. So what do you guys think about this? Do you think the acquisition of Activision Blizzard King is going to turn Microsoft into a monopoly bear? Not bear, but like, you know, to the point where because Activision Blizzard King is a big development company, and having the games acquired by them be exclusively for Xbox, and you know not everybody has an Xbox or plays Xbox like that. I don't know. You guys think this was a good move for Microsoft? And what do you think this means for Sony? Like, we see here that they've signed a binding agreement to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. And I noticed the word says binding agreement to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. So then what happens to the other games? But, you know, I'll post my opinion later, but you guys let me know in the comment section if you're watching this on YouTube, in the live chat right now, if you have any opinion on this matter. What do you think about this? Do you think that this is a good move for them to acquire Activision Blizzard? And if so, do you think that they'll continue to cross-platform? Or will it just be Microsoft solely or Xbox solely? And if it's going to force more people to buy more Xboxes? I am curious to know how many more PlayStations we have in homes versus Xboxes. Or if you got people who have a little bit of everything. All right, moving into something else. You guys let me know in the comments what you think about that acquisition with Microsoft acquiring Activision Blizzard King. And for those of you who may not know the games that King has, the biggest one I can tell you is Candy Crush. If you don't know. If you do know, that's cool. But I just want to let you know if you didn't know. It's Candy Crush. All right, so part of tech news here, we have Apple's new vision Group reflects shift away from Steve Jobs' approach. So I was reading this earlier today, and I thought this would be pretty good to bring up for those who are in my game crew and who are Apple users. I know I got a few Apple users out there. We'll get to you later, Windows users, if I ever come across some news, which I'm pretty sure, aside from Samsung, which uses Windows. Okay, but anyway, so according to what I was reading earlier today, as you guys know, Apple does come out with a couple of their whatchamacallit events, their keynotes, their developer conferences, things like that, where they showcase the latest technology they come out with, any new phones, any new computers, all of that. So if you don't follow Apple like that, Apple is currently on iPhone 14. So according to what I have read in this article, it looks like they are going to be talking about iPhone 15. Where did I see that in here? So you guys can see this along with me. They talked about the Pro. I know the Pro is in here. Here we go. Okay, so it looks like in September, because that's usually when they hold the keynote where they bring up the new phones and any new computers. Usually they've actually split it, so the computers are now talked about in March. And actually, I guess that depends too, because they hold the developer conference in March actually. So okay. But in that developer conference, they also bring up the new computers. Yeah. I believe that. I believe that's how it goes. So in March, they talk about any new computers, and they talk about anything new with any of the operating systems. And then come September, they talk about their mobile line, like their iPhones, watches. There may be a new Mac in there, because Mac takes the big computers. I mean, those take a lot longer to put together and actually get ready to talk about. So it says here they're going to announce the iPhone 15 and the iPhone 15 Pro lines in September, along with new Apple Watches. And I think on Apple Watch they're going to move to 9. No, because we have 7. Is there an Apple Watch 8? I think there is. And then 9 should be coming up. And then there should be another launch in October, which that makes sense. That's usually how they do. What they'll do is they'll get the phones ready to be launched like that. So I think the event will happen on a Monday or a Tuesday, and then they'll do a pre-order for Friday, and then 2 weeks later you'll have the phone, and then they'll talk about the Macs in the same conference, but the Macs won't be available until October for purchase or receiving. So that's usually, so yeah. So if I'm thinking about that correctly, that's usually how that goes. So in the last conference, I talked about the 15-inch MacBook Air, the M2 Ultra Base Macs, and they're saying that October could feature the first Macs with the M3 chips. Now, guys, I'm a huge Apple fan. I'm out there. I'm a huge Apple fan. But my thing is these chips, though, because I know Apple comes out with technology like that. Like they continuously bust out new technology, right? I don't know. It's like they came out with the M1 chip. And I'm no like actual tech reviewer. You got to go watch somebody else like Marquez for that one. But but the way they're coming out with it is almost like, and I've seen reviews. There's nothing wrong with the M1 chip, but the way it happened, it seemed like the M1 chip came out too quickly, and there were some issues with it, or they saw that it was doing good in performance wise, so they came out with a 2 and a 3 and a 4. And who knows? They probably already had this stuff put together and was ready for it to, to come out with a line just to see how it was going to do. But bro, they came out with like the M2 Ultra. They came out with the M2 Max. They've came out with a lot of the M line chips in these past couple of years. Few years now, I think. Yeah. So, okay, maybe because time is moving pretty fast in the tech world, maybe I guess I'm missing my timeline. I'll tell you what, next time we do this news review, I'm gonna pull up a M timeline, an M chip timeline, so we can see either how quick, or like I said, maybe time is just moving by too fast and I haven't really paid attention to that. So there's that. And then what caught my eye, and the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because of what they were saying. They're saying that Apple's new Vision Group reflects shift away from the Steve Jobs approach. So I was reading through this, and aside from the new technology, they were saying that when M. Jobs returned to Apple in '98, that he took away the departments like the iPad department, the iPhone department, the they didn't have AirPods back then, so the Mac department, I guess, or the iPod department, right? And they said that it shifted to a functional management structure. So instead of having like a dedicated division for each one, they just turned it to, where was it? Oh, here it is. Departments like software engineering, so right here, hardware development, machine learning, design, and services. Which, I mean, I think that's okay, because then you could work on everything in one department. No? What do you guys think about that part? I mean, software engineering, you strictly work on software for all of your devices. It's not just, an iPod or an iPhone, which they don't even do iPods anymore. Jesus Christ, y'all remember the generation of iPods? Things like that. Okay, contributions from all the groups are then funneled into new features and products. So that's what I was saying, that everything would just be put together. But I guess I can see how technology could get mixed up. I would think that it wouldn't, though. I think, based off what I've seen in Apple's events, I'm pretty sure they're well organized. I don't think anything would get mixed up inside of software. I don't think they would mix software iOS with software Mac OS or iPad OS or Watch OS. Now that's interesting, though. They have plenty of operating systems. We have Mac OS, we have iOS, we have Watch OS, and we have iPad OS now. That's 4 different operating systems, all within the software engineering department. So that is pretty interesting to think about. And I don't know, maybe they should have kept them separate. You guys let me know what you think about that as well. And now they're going to have the Vision Pro, which is called Vision OS, I believe it's called. So that's another operating system that they're going to have. Mind blown. Mind blown right now that I need to think about that when I first read it. Okay. You guys let me know what you think about the departments being all in one instead of separated, maybe by the OS, since they're coming out with so many of them. Unless there's teams, which I'm pretty sure, unless there's teams on the inside of that department. And I know I'm stuck on software, but like in any of those departments. Okay. All right. So Vision Pro has its own dedicated division inside of the company. So, judging by this, it is possible that they will actually go back to having different divisions for each of their technologies, for each of their software and hardwares. The group doesn't depend on Apple's main software and hardware engineering and other departments. It has its own version of those teams, according to Rockwell, in addition to ones for strategy, computer vision, content, app development, and project management. Okay, so it is possible. It is possible where they could. It is possible where they could go back to having separate divisions. It definitely is possible. That would be quite interesting if they did do that. So this doesn't mean that the Vision Pro group isn't collaborating with other parts of Apple. It works with the design and operation teams overseen by Jeff Williams, Apple's chief operating officer, and the Johnny Sarugi lead chip unit that makes the M2 and R1 processors. I forgot about R1. R1 is part of the new chip that's going to be in Vision Pro. I'm pretty sure Apple got it. That's above my pay grade. I can tell you that right now. Okay. So, all in all, it looks like they're trying to go back to having those separate divisions for each of their technologies. That's actually pretty interesting. I didn't know that and I should have known, because watching their events, that's exactly what it was. Like, they would take whatever they were talking about in each software, they would go to that department and talk more about that software there, or they'd go to this department and talk about that hardware there, or they'd go to this department and talk about all this other stuff. So that's okay. So all in all, they may go back to having different divisions. Now, what does this mean for us? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. I wanted to bring this up, number one, because the event is going to bring up the iPhone 15 and the new watches, and that they were talking about switching their divisions over. If you're interested in that type of stuff, let me know. If it makes no difference to you, let me know. This is actually quite interesting to me, but I'm a nerd, so we'll move on. Pokemon! Because why else? I'm a trainer. Come on, guys. Really? GameGyrl color, it's in the name. Alright, so I definitely want to bring this up because Pokemon Sleep is making a launch. And according to this, it's a staggered launch. Can y'all see that? Is that zoomed in enough for y'all? Hold on. Okay. I think that should be enough. Alright. So it looks like Pokemon Sleep is finally making a launch. And it will be available in iOS and Android in New Zealand oh, that says New Zealand though. Where's the US at? Okay, now I know it's gonna be here too, because I play a lot of Pokemon Go, and I got the notification in my news in there that said that Pokemon Sleep is coming. As a matter of fact, let me go in there real quick. Ooh, I want a shiny Luna. Look, getting sidetracked. My mistake. Okay, let me go to news. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so 4 days ago, okay, celebrate the upcoming release of Pokemon Go Plus with the catching of some Z's events. Now, this is, of course, it's in Pokemon Go, but it's still talking about the Pokemon Sleep launch and the Pokemon Go Plus that they talked about way back when in the Nintendo Direct. So we're celebrating the upcoming release of Pokemon Go Plus with a delightfully dreamy event. So if you guys play Pokemon Go, this is something else for you. Kamala, the drowsing Pokemon, will make its Pokemon Go debut. Why did I say it like that? Snorlax wearing a nightcap will also make its Pokemon Go debut. This is happening starting Saturday. So actually yesterday. at 10 a.m. to Sunday, which is today, 8 p.m. We got an hour left. Local time. For me, I got an hour. Well, depending on where you are. And then, of course, Reggie Lecky will be appearing in 5-star raids. Y'all, why didn't y'all tell me they coming out with new Reggie brothers? Reggie Lecky? And you know what's crazy? I didn't catch it because I play Pokemon Unite. Reggie Lecky is in there, and I didn't catch it that he was a new Reggie brother. I did not know that. I think they came out with one more. Anyway, and then Mega Blaziken is also out in Mega Raids. And if you're lucky, you'll encounter a shiny Blaziken, which I would actually like a shiny Blaziken. I would be a shiny hunter if I had the patience for it, you guys. I promise you I would. Now, I don't play Pokemon Masters EX, but there is a villain event going on as part of the Laminating a Millennium villain event in Pokemon Masters. Excuse me, y'all. A Pokemon Fair Scout is now available to get the sync pair of Olina and Garbodor. The Scout runs until August 19th. Alongside this event, new stages that have been added to the Let's Get Stronger with Everyone from the Galar Extreme Battle event, with stages based around using Olina and Garbodor against Rose. Okay. And then, what is this one? Oh, that's the Who's That Pokemon one. Okay, so we got Pokemon Sleep making a launch. We have the Pokemon Go Plus making a launch. Oh, yes, I want to bring this up. In the next 7-star for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, in the next 7-star Terra Raid battle event has been announced for the game. This event will feature the battle against Rillaboom, excuse me, with the normal Terra type and the mightiest Mark. Can only be caught once per save file. Now, guys, I'm not done playing the game. I'm not. I will be, though. I need to do an extra long stream of Pokemon. I really do, because I haven't been on the game in a good minute. The only thing is, guys, I love to explore. I love to move around in that world, so it would take me probably a full 8 hours to do so. But anyway, okay, so that is our Pokemon news. And did I have one more thing for you guys? Actually, I think that's it. Yep, we talked about Apple, we talked about Pokemon, we talked about Microsoft, and we talked about the binding agreement with PlayStation and Microsoft. So you guys, leave your comments for me in the description below. If you're on YouTube, if you're watching this on Twitch, you guys can put something in the chat for me. I'll see it. Also, let's discuss this in my Discord as well. If you guys join my Discord over there, for YouTube, it's going to be in the top right. And if you're on Twitch, it's also going to be in the, or it's going to be in the bottom right. And it's going to be in my panelists below. So, guys, leave your comments for me. Let me know what you think about the new acquisition that Microsoft has made, and the binding agreement that they made with Sony to make sure that Call of Duty game stays on PlayStation. You guys, let me know what you think about, I guess if you guys are interested in Apple, let me know what you think about the departments we talked about, and what you think about Apple's movements so far with like this new Vision Pro and, you know, all this extra stuff they're trying to come out with. And their M chips. We're gonna talk about the timeline next time in the next podcast episode. Which for YouTube, I want to let you guys know so it's live right now, but I'm actually gonna take the live down and turn it into a actual podcast video. So, but on Twitch it'll still be just a regular video. And then you guys let me know what you guys think about any of the Pokemon news that we talked about, the 7-star Terra Raid battle, and the Pokemon Sleep and Pokemon Go Plus. If you think that Pokemon Sleep is actually worth using, if you think anybody would use something like that, are you gonna try it? Are you gonna try any of this stuff? Are you an Apple user, or are you an Android user? And would you like to know more Android news. I can add it in here. It's gaming and tech, so hey, you know. So you guys let me know what you thought about the first episode of GameGyrl Cast. I'm gonna end it right there. The podcast episodes are not gonna be that long. I just want to go live for a little bit, talk with you guys, and shut it off right there. So let me know what you guys thought about all of that. Let me know if you guys are going to be interested in watching the GameGyrl Cast podcast live, or later on YouTube. And yeah, just leave all your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure you guys be sure you guys subscribe if you're over there on YouTube. Be sure you guys like over here on Twitch, and hit the bell notification on both of the platforms so you guys know when I'm going to be live again. And I think that's all I got. That's it. That's all I got. That's it. I enjoyed talking with y'all. See y'all in the next one. Deuces. This has been GameGyrl Cola with another news update. I am that geek. I am that nerd. Holla if you've heard. Peace. Mwah. Keep crewing, crew.